Hello, today I'm going to be discussing the Enneagram and why we study it. So first of all, the word Enneagram comes from the Greek words enneo, which means 9, and gramos, which means figure. And this is because when the Enneagram is drawn out, it's drawn in a circle with the 9 different Enneagram types inside of it. So if I was asked the question, what is the Enneagram all about? I would explain that it's a tool that helps people understand their personalities better and helps people to be more introspective and understand what motivates them to act the way that they do. The Enneagram is broken down into 9 different types, and although everyone is unique, everyone also usually falls into one of these 9 categories, even if they have certain traits from other numbers. If someone asked me how the Enneagram could predict how they would act, I would explain that the early roots of the Enneagram could be traced back to monasteries in the Egyptian desert. So the Enneagram has been around for a really long time, and people have had time to study each personality type and their behavior. So although everyone is unique and has free will and everyone can have different personality traits from different numbers, generally the Enneagram has a pretty good description of how someone will act if they fit that number. As a 7 on the Enneagram, I think quarantine has been especially hard. I've definitely exemplified some of the traits of a 7. I'm very energetic and fast-paced, and I always want to be doing new things, and so being inside has been hard, but I've picked up a bunch of new hobbies, and then I get bored of them really easily. And I've also been texting and calling my friends every day because I love socializing and I miss my friends. And I'm trying to make the best of the situation, but it's definitely hard considering how much I want to go outside and do and go on adventures and experience new things, but that'll come with time. So in case anyone is confused about why we learn the Enneagram in Christian existence, I believe there's 2 main reasons. The first one is that the Enneagram allows us to recognize our flaws more easily, and therefore it helps with self-growth and self-improvement. So I think that's the first reason. And the second has to do with our relationship with others. If we can understand what motivates other people and understand their thought process, it can help us build and fix relationships in our lives. Most non-religious people believe that there is no scientific evidence supporting the existence of God, but 13th century theologian and philosopher St. Thomas Aquinas created 5 proofs to help support the theory that God does exist. St. Thomas's first proof is called the argument from motion. This explains that no object can move itself, and the sequence of motion isn't infinite, so there had to be someone or something that put the first object into motion that moved everything else, and Christians believe that this first mover was God. His second proof is called the argument from efficient causes. Since nothing exists prior to itself, we need efficient causes in order to create things, and since nothing could just pop into existence, there needed to be a first efficient cause, or else nothing else would have followed, and Christians believe that that first efficient cause was God. Thomas Aquinas' third proof is called the argument from possibility and necessity. This explains that everything is contingent, which means that it relies on someone or something else in order to exist. So with the argument of which came first, the chicken or the egg, the issue is that both are contingent. They both rely on something else in order to be produced. So assuming that there was a time when nothing existed, there would need to be some contingent being that set everything into motion and created everything else. So Christians and a lot of other people believe that this was God. His fourth proof is the argument of gradation of being. This explains that in nature there's a hierarchy, and within each genus, the highest level of that created everything else below it. And since humans didn't create everything that existed, there must be some other being at the top of our hierarchy, and so a lot of people believe that that's God. Thomas Aquinas' fifth proof is the argument from design. This explains that most natural objects have an arrangement and work towards a goal, but since most of these objects lack intelligence, there must be some greater force or being pushing it towards this end goal. Thomas Aquinas' 5 proofs, although created centuries ago, are still used every day to help prove the existence of God using science.